succeed in our life, which will play a major role, Guruji? Faith, God, effort, or luck?
Or winning an election.
If you want to win in election, that all luck is also important.
Faith, God, luck, effort. Maybe all of them. But in what proportion? So when you say faith, obviously it's something that you cannot do anything about. When you say luck, again obviously it's something that you cannot do anything about. When you say God, again it's something that you cannot do anything about. So only thing that's in your hands is effort. So put your 100% into your effort, what happens, happens, isn't it? So don't leave proportions of your energy and your capability to luck, God, fate, all these things. That's not your business. If there is such a thing, it will act. Your business is only effort, isn't it? Just do that. Effort has to be incisive in the sense, it should be focused, calibrated. Simply if you make effort, it's foolish effort, isn't it? Just labor is not going to get you somewhere. Right kind of action, the right timing, right place, all this is important, isn't it? So, for all these things to happen, you need perception and intelligence. So that's all you must do in your life. Constantly looking for ways to enhance your perception and your intelligence. Rest will anyway happen. This is one thing that unfortunately humanity is not doing. They're trying to become capable of something. Do not try to become capable of something. Just enhance your perception and intelligence, whatever comes your way. Right now, let us say it's like this, this is happening in the world all the time. Everybody wants to become a doctor. Not now, if 25 years ago it was so. If you want to study means, first thing is medicine. If you don't get a seat, what's next? Engineering. Don't get a seat, what? Next thing, like this. So let's say you became a doctor and let us say everybody came to the yoga program and they stopped going to a doctor. At least your visits to the doctor has come down, isn't it? Has it? Has it come down or no? For sure, it's come down. So business will go down. It will no more be a good profession to go into, because very few doctors are becoming doctors because they want to become doctors. Others are becoming doctors because they think it's lucrative, isn't it? Isn't it so? Most people are becoming doctors because they think somebody's sickness is a lucrative business. It's a very… I don't want to go into other aspects, it's quite disturbing for me. There are a few doctors who really want to be that. They want to understand the human system and they want to serve in that direction, that's great. Suppose everybody became healthy. You don't want that, isn't it? Yes, you don't want that. So do not try to put up a recipe for your success. Success is only when you are able to use yourself to your full potential. It doesn't matter whether you become a doctor or a politician or a yogi or what the hell you become is not the thing. Success means you are living your life to your full potential. That's what success means. If that has to happen, you need perception and an active intelligence. How do I grow my intelligence? Don't worry about that. Right now, the important thing is to enhance your perception. If you're able to see life just the way it is, you have the necessary intelligence to conduct it well. If you're not able to see life the way it is, your intelligence will work against you. Most intelligent people on this planet are generally the most miserable people on the planet. This is simply because they have an active intelligence but no perception of life. So, one most important thing that people have not worked at is to enhance their perception. They're trying to broaden their mind, that's not the point. That will only make you socially successful, not truly successful. If you want to be truly successful, you must be able to see everything just the way it is, without distortions. If you can see everything just the way it is, life becomes a play. You can play it joyfully, you can play it well, for sure. If you can play it well, people will say you're successful. You should never think, I want to be successful. Don't ever think, I want to be successful. Just see how to make this being into a full-fledged being. People will say one day, oh, he's successful, he's a great success. You should not be aspiring for success, it's a miserable way to structure your life. You will simply cause pain and suffering to yourself and suffering to everybody, because your idea of success is sitting on top of somebody's head, isn't it? Yes or no? Your idea of success is right now, everybody should be below you, you must be on the top. This is your idea of success. This is not success, this is sickness. So do not ever think of success. Just see how to make this into a full-fledged being. This will find expression. If it finds good expression, people around you will say, oh, he is a great success. That's fine. People should recognize you're a success. You should not be thinking how to be successful. Very wrong way to approach life. What does success look like? What does it take? Human being has come with such open sense of possibilities. Those who are committed to being successful with whatever they're doing, one important aspect of their life is, that is what get you across so many lines in our life, so many barriers in our life. This happened in your school, maybe later in your university, later in your work. It's happening to people, maybe not everyone, but a whole lot of people. Their commitment to success is weak. They want to succeed, they will take 3 steps, then something little interesting happens here, they will go away here, they'll go away there, they'll go away there. Hey, I want to live, huh? Their commitment to success is weak. Either situations around them in some way, situations can impede you from doing what you're doing very easily. Many times it happens to everyone. But when this happens, people weaken their commitment for their success. Maybe physically, they'll feel little weak, they will weaken their commitment to success. Maybe their emotions slosh around a little bit, they will weaken their commitment to success. This is very important right now. However long it takes, this virus, you must come out of this successfully. That means you must stay alive, that's an important part. And commitment to staying alive should not be slackened, no matter what happened. Somebody very dear to us passed away, all the more important we must live. People around us are all sick, all the more important we are healthy to take care of the people around us. So our commitment to success should not weaken because there is social drama going on or physiological drama or psychological drama, whatever happens, your commitment to success should not weaken. That is what get you across so many lines in our life, so many barriers in our life. So, what does success look like? What does it take? You must understand, those who made any significant achievements in their life, they did not, I don't want to take any personal examples of anybody, I'm trying to avoid obvious things that are coming to my mind. Well, I know family and friends who always have their breakfast on time. And after breakfast, of course, they must have coffee. After coffee, of course, they must light up a cigarette and sit there nicely because they're trying to become peaceful. And then they will go to work, come back home exactly on time for lunch, eat lunch, rest for 1 or 2 hours, sleep, then evening have one tea and then smoke, and then again go to work. And 8 o'clock, 8:30, they're back home for dinner and then maybe other things, drink and this and that and whatever. Well, that's their priority. It's fine, I'm not complaining, it should not be that way. But those who have been very successful, either in music, sport, art, business, spiritual process, doesn't matter what, those people never know when they ate, when they slept, when they got afternoon rest. I've not seen such a thing in my life. So, those who are committed to being successful with whatever they're doing, one important aspect of their life is they're not settling down wherever it's a bit comfortable. Because comfort will happen when they lower you to in the grave, very comfortable you are, Have you seen how comfortable they are? Once they're dead, if you throw them there also they're comfortable, if you lower them they're comfortable, even if you burn them. Right? Yes or no? Comfort will come. Right now, it's about ensuring that there is profoundness of experience and there is impactfulness of activity. Because if they had given you a limitless amount of time, you could do all those things, nothing wrong, I'm not against them. But they gave you such little time with such tremendous potential of being human, that's the problem. If creation had made you like an earthworm, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with an earthworm, it is just that it's a unipolar potential, it can only do that much. An earthworm is not thinking of climbing a tree because it knows it'll be picked up by the birds, it never has such aspirations. It just wants to recycle the earth. It is beneficial to so many other lives, including us, but its objective is very clear, to eat and to reproduce and to die. Very clear objectives. That purpose to fulfill, he strives. I don't think he sleeps in the afternoon. I don't think so because many afternoons I've seen earthworms, they were all vigorously active. But a human being came with too many potentials. Because of that, it needs a certain level of striving for a human being to forget about the world
to consider yourself successful. If your idea of success is you're doing little better than your neighbor, I call that sickness, that is not success. You are happy that your neighbor is worse than you. Is this sickness or success? It is sickness. But in some way you feel fulfilled with what you're doing, let's consider that as success for now. It doesn't matter whether you're better than somebody or worse than somebody, that question should not even come up in your mind. But in some way you feel you're using yourself fully and there's a certain sense of fulfillment in your activity. Well, if you're capable of just closing your eyes and simply sitting without any activity, that's fantastic. But you cannot do that. You cannot do that right now in the states that you are. You can't simply close your eyes and become still. Instead of being busy, you will become preoccupied. That doesn't mean you're improving, that means you're regressing in some way. The problem about this success is people always making judgments, I did this, I did that, maybe this didn't work, maybe this is a mistake, that's a mistake. There's no such thing in life. See, at one time you were a monkey, all right? This is not me, this is that Englishman, you know? Charles Darwin said, you were all monkeys. At one time you were a monkey, just a brief while ago. Was it a mistake that you committed, that you were a monkey? Or was it just a certain stage of evolution? Was it a mistake or was it just a certain stage of evolution? Similarly, since you were born, because as a human being, you are born largely unformed, unlike other creatures. Other creatures, if they are just… their food is taken care of, they know what to do with their life. Because human being has come with such open sense of possibilities, you come unformed, you don't come fixed. You have to fix yourself. Different people throw different types of balls at you. From all over, your parents, your teachers, the school, the neighbors and the society and the world throws all kinds of things at you. To gather all this muck and make something worthwhile out of yourself is your business, that's your success. It doesn't matter whether somebody thinks you're worthwhile or not, you feel you're a worthwhile life. Good enough for now. World may not recognize, it doesn't matter, but you know you're worthwhile.
Now, modern world is always goal-oriented in the sense we want to win the game. Whether it's life or game, they're only thinking about winning. I feel that's a big mistake. If people don't win a game because they want to win a game. Who doesn't want to win? Everybody wants to win. People win a game because they play well, isn't it? Any team wins because they play well, not because they want to win. Who doesn't want to win? You know, we say in yoga, if you keep one eye on the goal, you have only one eye to find your way. That's not a good way to play a game. It's better both your eyes are on the game. The winning, the cup and the accolades are things which happen because we play a game well. It's not because we want them, it'll happen. Because we play well, it happens. So, it's always best that we keep our eyes, our body, our mind, everything focused on just one thing. That is when a human being functions at his maximum efficiency. There's a beautiful incident in our culture when Dronacharya is teaching Arjuna and a few other boys archery.
He asked one by one to look up at the tree and aim and shoot at the bird that was sitting there, a wooden bird that was kept up on the tree. And a small dot was marked on the neck of the bird, and Dronacharya said, you must aim at that particular dot and shoot. So when they just pulled the string and they're just about to shoot, he asked them to stop and ask, what do you see? So they said, we see the leaves, we see the tree, we see the fruit, we see the bird, we see so many things. Everybody said this. And when Arjuna's chance came, when he was ready to shoot and Drona asked him, what do you see? He just said, I see only one dot. And it is one who sees only one. When one's vision is totally one-pointed, that is when you get there. When everything in you gets organized in one direction, that is when the best results happen. That's so you're playing a hockey game. It's not about winning, it's not about getting a cup back home, it's not about newspapers, it's not about fame. Your whole business is just to how to get the damn ball into the goal. Every moment of being there on the field, that's all, isn't it? As 10 people on the field, just seeing how to get that ball every time in there. The idea is to get it there every moment. They won't let you get it there every moment, but the whole thing is to just get it there, get it there, get it there. If our mind is focused on how to win the cup, will we win the cup or not, will we win the match or not? I have seen, whether it's football or cricket or hockey or whatever, many matches are lost before the game is over. Somebody has scored 3 goals against you. So what, 3 goals can be scored in a minute? Oh, such miracles don't happen, it's not true. It can be done and it's happened sometimes, isn't it? So the business is not how much somebody has scored or not scored, whether you're going to win or not win. When you're playing a game, there's only just one goal, putting that ball into the goal, that's all. If we just stay this way, at least who we are, our talent will get fully expressed. What we are not, we cannot do. If we do not do what we are not capable of, it doesn't matter. But if we do not do what we are capable of, that's a tragic life, isn't it? Isn't it so? If one does not do what he is not capable of, it does not matter. But if one does not do what he is capable of, that's a wasted life. And when our focus is not one-pointed, this wastage always will happen because we are thinking about something else. If everything is focused in one way, your body, your energy, your mind, everything is organized in just one direction. A person who is going in one direction will go somewhere. A person who is trying to go in 5 different directions will not go anywhere. So much time and energy and effort is wasted in trying to go in different directions. So if one can just keep this in his mind, there is nothing else to the game except putting the ball there. It is not about winning, it's not about the cup, it's not about anything, it's just about putting the ball into the goal, that's all. At least your talents will be fully expressed. If we are not good enough, we have to prepare more. If we are good enough, the results will come for us, that's all the game is about. But if our talent doesn't find full expression, that is a waste. That should not happen to us.
Outside challenges are many. There are many things in the world. Some things will happen, some things won't happen, some things will act for us, something will work against us. These things are happening all the time. But am I functioning for myself or am I functioning against myself? Within this, is my life little more exuberant, little more better, little more joyful, little more peaceful? You just measure this every day. So you must maintain an account book. Yes, if you're doing business, how do you know whether you're progressing? Only one who keeps accounts knows whether he is making money or going down, isn't it so? Similarly, you must maintain an account. You just see, let's say yesterday you were joyful 5 times in the day. Today if you're 6, you're better. Tomorrow if you're 7, you're better. But day after tomorrow if you're 3, you're worse. How many moments of joy do you have? Why I'm talking about joy is we are not using joy as a goal. Joy is a measure. Joy means you're at ease. Joy means you become more of life than being a mental mess, isn't it? Joy does not mean that you attain to something. Joy simply means life has come to ease, you're not messing yourself up. Spend 5 minutes, have I been better today than yesterday? Has my day been better? Every day, if you keep accounts, you will see no matter what the hell happens in life situations, you will not go down. Here I am not trying to tell you what to eat and what not to eat. You eat whatever you want. But being a human being, the most important thing is that you do it consciously. Whatever you do must happen consciously. Your selection of food and consumption of food also must happen consciously. More than what you eat, how you eat it is also equally important. When I say how you eat it, these are all live substances. Every one of them had a life of their own, whether it's a plant, animal, vegetable, every one of them had a life of their own. If you approach it with a certain sense of gratitude and reverence towards the food that you eat, when I say reverence, it may feel like too much for you, but I'm asking you, let's say we put you in a room and you had nothing to eat for 5 days. If God appears in front of you, what will you ask for? Food? So that's how important it is. You must understand the food on your plate is not just a substance, it is not a material, it is not a commodity, it is life. It is the life-making material for you. So you must treat it as such. Right now, when it's on the plate, when it's out there, it has no value, but the moment you consume it and it becomes your flesh and blood, now suddenly it's of immense value. Why do we live like this? It's very important, when it comes on your plate itself, you must treat it as a part of yourself. With great reverence, you must consume. Just the way you consume it, if you change that, food will behave very differently within you. The soil that you walk upon has a certain sense of intelligence and memory. So even if you happen to live in a concrete jungle, it is important to keep in touch with the earth upon which you live. Create ways for yourself to somehow remain in touch with the soil or the earth upon which you live, that part of the earth. With your bare hands and bare feet, see, particularly the palms and the soles, if they come in touch with the earth on a daily basis, at least for a few minutes, a certain harmonizing of the physiological process will happen just being in contact with the earth. If you spend at least a few minutes in your garden, barefooted, touching plants or trees, because this is the basis of your life. All life, yours and every other creature, has come out of this earth. Stay in touch with it and harmonize your system. One thing is, before you go to bed, just sit in your bed just for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, just see, suppose you're going to die right now in 2 minutes' time, how it'll be, and then sleep. You will see tomorrow when you wake up, you'll wake up like you just born. If you go to sleep with this awareness, you will wake up with a completely new dimension of energy within you. Suppose you wake up tomorrow. No, that's not… See, you think it's…
You think it's a joke, that's a problem. Every day, nearly 300,000 people don't wake up tomorrow. So in case you wake up tomorrow, check and see if you're still alive. If you are, just do this much, for your sake, not my sake. One big smile, you're still alive. Hello? Is your is your life worth this much? See, do not think every day you will wake up, one day you will not wake up. Yes or no? Tomorrow morning you woke up, check if you're still alive. If you're dead, I will pardon you. If you're alive, one big smile. Then if 300,000 people die on the planet, maybe 3 to 5 million people would have lost somebody who's dear to them. So just check those 4 or 5 people who matter to you in your life, all of them still alive. One more smile. Hello? And you looked at the watch, it's 7 o'clock and you're still alive. One more smile. Hello? From now on you must do this every time you look at the time. If you're alive, you must smile, because this is the greatest thing happening to you. Not your money, not your profession, not your family, you're alive right now, this is the thing. Very brief, let's make it happen.
Your ability to live well on this planet is essentially how well you can harness this body and this mind. Yes or no? So if you have to harness this the way you want it, it's very important. There is a little space between you and the body. There is a little space between you and the mind. Whatever suffering, any kind of suffering that you have known in your life has entered you either through the body or through the mind. Do you know any other kind of suffering? Do you know any other kind of suffering? Physical suffering, mental suffering. There's only two things you know, isn't it? If a little distance arises between you and the body, between you and the mind, this is the end of suffering. Once there is no fear of suffering, only then you will explore the full depth and dimension of this life.
So, one thing we want to do is, we are bringing this what's called as Isha Kriya, which gives you a distance between you and your thought, between you and your body. If people experience this for 2 minutes a day, their lives will change. Definitely, I'm telling you. Once they know the freedom of it, you will not like anything. You will not like any drink or drug or whatever, because it is a much big high than that. Much big high than anything that you have seen. So one of the resolutions that you take for the new year is, I meditate.
The question is, how can we translate Gita, the philosophy of Krishna, into augmenting business in India?
I have not read the Gita, so I really have not. I'm sorry, because for me, my own vision has never failed me. So I always kept away from all scriptures, because I didn't want to clutter myself with something or the other. The only thing that I learned and I continue to do is, if I look at something, if I look at a person, I know their past, present and future. That is the level of attention I'm paying to them. I don't look at like this. When I look at it completely, with all that I have. If you pay enough attention, there is nothing that will not yield. So I never had any reason or need to go looking for scriptures or something. With all respect and regard for them, it is not that I'm averse to it, it's just that I've not had the time. How this whole process started is, when I was very young, I realized that I just don't know anything. See, if you realize that you do not know, if it's a full-scale realization that you do not know anything, paying attention will be natural. Because you know everything. You know this guy, you know this. There are assumptions and assumptions and assumptions. Well, I have used it in a different way, but even if you're doing business, even it's for business purposes, the only reason why one human being seems to be… all the opportunities seems to be going in his direction and not other people is simply because he's able to see and other people are not able to see. It's not that it's not there for others. One is able to see and others are not able to see. So essentially, a leader means that you're able to see something that others are not able to see. So, attention without intention, simply being attentive, that's what we were trying to do in the afternoon. Not paying attention to something, just practicing attention, a very heightened level of attention where an unfocused attention, but when you focus it on something, just about anything has to yield, there is no other way to that attention. So, I always focused on enhancing and sharpening my attention, never on retention because what you gather is not you. Essentially, you know that you exist only because you have some sense of attention right now, isn't it? Suppose you fall asleep and you lose your attention, you do not even know that you exist. So the basis of your existence itself is attention. And this attention need not be mortgaged to anything. You just have to sharpen the attention. See, if you have a knife in your hands, there is no such thing that you have to cut only apples with this. If you have a sharp enough knife, you could cut anything that you want. But the important thing is the knife is sharp enough, so that your attention is keen enough, not for something or the other. If your attention has become very keen, if you wish to do a certain type of activity, you can successfully do it. I think I must say something about my own enterprises at one time. My enterprise started when I was 8 years of age. Because of a strange kind of pride in me, I never ever took a single rupee as a pocket money from my parents. I started making money when I was 6, 7 years of age. By 8, I was quite an accomplished entrepreneur. Simple things. Even today I'm known in Mysore because I caught snakes in everybody's houses. If I caught a snake, they gave me 25 rupees. In 1960s, 25 rupees is $1 million for a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid. I was just on top of the world. So, there is a Food Research Institute, CFTRI. Every Saturday afternoon I went there, I caught 4, 5 snakes. They measured it. I have to show it to you like this. If it's over 3 feet, I get 50 rupees. Less than 3 feet, I get 25 rupees. On an afternoon, I would make 100, 150 rupees. I don't know if you can imagine, 150 rupees for an 8, 10-year-old kid in 1960s or 70s was like $1 million today. It was big. And I went to so many things, just about anything that came my way. I should tell you a little enterprise that I did which grew into a big business. After my university, where I learned nothing, but I passed. The only thing was, by then I had crisscrossed India on my motorcycle, and I suddenly realized when I went to the borders of India, they asked me for something other than my driving license. I did not even know that there was a passport. See, it's not like today. Today every child, maybe 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid knows he has to have a passport. I'm in my 20s, but I do not know that I need a passport. I went to the border and then they said, "Where is your passport?" I said, "What? I have a driving license." They said, "No, you need a passport." Then I turned back from Nepal border and came back on my motorcycle. So my only dream was, I'm going to just ride across the world. So I wanted to do something, I started kind of farming, commercial farming. I was making money. I thought I will do for 2 years and leave. But in the meantime, my entrepreneurship took off in so many different ways. Like this I went about. And then there was an industry coming up close by, they wanted to build a water treatment plant. I happened to know the person who was running the industry. I just went there and I wanted to meet him. I was sitting in his office, they were discussing something about a water treatment plant. I just heard this and they were looking at the drawings and stuff. Then I asked him, "Can I apply? Can I do this? Because it is close to my farm, can I do this?" He said, "No, this is very complex, there are some experts from Mumbai and Bangalore who will come and do it, you cannot do it." I said, "Give me a chance, let me see." I took the file from him. I went and read through everything. Then I went back to him after 3 days and said, "I can do this." He said, "Don't you do this, you're my friend. I don't want to do this." "No, just let me give the tender." So those days, there was something called as Navakarnataka bookstalls. They were selling only the Russian books. You used to get big literature books, you can get Lev Tolstoy's War and Peace for 2 rupees and engineering books for 1 rupee, 2 rupees, all hardbound books. I bought 10 books about water treatment plant, sat down in my farm and poured through this day and night. I made my own new design. I went there and I gave a tender for 1.76 lakhs. Mind you, this is 70s. And the closest tender was 32 lakhs. The highest tender was over 60 lakhs. He looked at this and said, "You are funny. You're not going to do this." I said, "No, I can do it." He said, "No way you can do it. Look at this, the nearest tender is 32 lakhs and you're saying 1.76 lakhs. How will you do it?" I said, "Give me 1 more day." I went back again and poured through the books. I said, "I'll do it." Then he said, "It's 90 days, you must finish this and it must work. If it doesn't work, at your own cost, you must remove it, clean the site and go, and I will not give you a rupee of advance." I again went and poured through the books. I said, "I can do it." I completed this in a little over 70 days. I did this in 90,000+ rupees. In one shot, I made 80,000 rupees, just like that. People thought this is a hit. There my construction industry started. Raja Ramanna was coming for RMP plant. He's just coming in a helicopter to see where the site is. There is no anybody there. I just went and met this engineer, he was breaking his head, "I don't know what to do, I have to mark the site." I said, "I've got pegs and white cloth. I will just go and mark the site for you." I marked it, they paid me 38,000 rupees for a 15-minute job. I went on my motorcycle and just fixed it myself. Like this my enterprise started and we grew into a major construction company. We were going very big, but then I got enlightened, so I gave up.
Success and failure is not in the volumes of money flowing into your life. Success and failure is not dependent upon the recognition that you're finding in the world. You're successful with life if you know how to walk with joy through hell. Meltdown is not hell, don't… I know there is a certain amount of global warming involved, but it's not as hot as hell, not yet. It's not bad at all, it's very good. I'm sure you can do with less food, smaller house, smaller car, Or walking is great, you know. Walking is very good for health, do you know? Some man who just became 100 years old in Coimbatore city, I have not met the man, I read in the newspaper just a month ago, his 100th birthday. They asked him, what is the source of your health and well-being, because he's still strong and good? He said, I am a walk king, you know. He put a hyphen in walking and said, I am a walk king. Because every day I walk, 100, I'm still walking. So your failure could be extremely good for your well-being. Don't be against your own well-being, you know. Satumao Ganji and walking, sure recipe for health. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is an idea, because success is also a stupid idea. It's your idea, what is success and what is failure, isn't it? Instead of trying to change the world, change your idea. Isn't it easier? If you just change your idea of success and failure, everything is great, isn't it? If you were a beggar on the street, today, if you could walk into the restaurant, eat a masala dosa and pay 10 rupees bill, this would be the height, the peak of your success. Isn't it so? So, you've gotten trapped in social situations and it is not even your idea. Why am I crediting you with this? It is somebody's idea of what is success, isn't it? Don't become a slave to somebody's idea. At least have your own idea. You have no idea of your own. Don't deceive yourself. Every idea, every thought, every emotion, every value that you have is picked up from somewhere and it rules you from within. It rules you from within. Your religion, your society, your culture has trained you to believe that this is it. So the first and foremost success is that you are not a slave to anybody's idea. This is success. Whatever the situation of life, you're alive means you're successful, isn't it? No? Let me see it if you're successful. This is success, you're alive. You don't know the value of life. You're crying about the share market. You do not know the value of life. Because the damn graph is going up and down, you want to die? No, but I lost so much money. There is no such thing. These are all social things, these are not existential things. We created the society for our well-being, not to take our lives. Yes? You created your family, your social structure and every other damn thing for your well-being, not to take your life, isn't it? Now every damn thing can take your life. Don't make things that you create, things that human beings create, larger than your life. That is the basis of your suffering.
Namaskar Sadhguru, my name is Ritu. My question is, what according to you is being successful in spirituality?
In spirituality or life?
In spirituality. And will I know it before I die? Thank you.
See, what this entire contrived ideas about what is spirituality, what's happened is, people think if they're seeking God, they're spiritual. What you need to understand is, you have already made an assumption and then you're trying to concretize your assumption. You want a guru to tell you, yes, God is there, seek him. Seeking means this, you don't know whether God rules this existence or devil rules this existence or it's simply unruled like India. You don't know, that's why you want to seek. Seeking means you do not know and you want to know. If one has to be successful, as I said earlier, the most important thing is your intelligence is not identified with anything. Because the nature of the intellect is this, the moment you take on an identity, your intellect will work hard to protect that identity. You just have to tell yourself 3 times, I'm an Indian. Suddenly everything Indian looks nice, everything across the border doesn't look nice. You just have to tell yourself, I'm this, and immediately it only protects that and nothing else. This is the nature of the intellect. In fact, that is the work of the intellect, because intellect is a tool of survival. Intellect is not ultimate intelligence. Unfortunately, because we are too much under European influence and somebody there said, I think so, I exist, we just lost it. In India, in the yogic system, we do not ascribe too much significance to your thought, first of all. So why we do not give significance to thought process is, it can only happen from the limited data that you have gathered. What you call as thought, whatever kind of thought you have, is just recycling the limited data that you have gathered. You may think about gods, you may think about pleasure, you may think politics, you may think money. It is only the data that you have you're recycling. You are not see, you may be thinking whatever. So I have been telling, this is a hard thing to do with people, constantly telling them, if God appears in your meditation, you just have to ignore him. But Sadhguru, if Shiva comes, especially if he comes, because Shiva is coming only because of the calendar images that you have seen. If you were born elsewhere, somebody else would be coming. So this is the old data playing up. So whatever plays up, see, you cannot think God, you cannot think money, you cannot think the ocean or the sky. You are only recycling the limited data. So we don't acknowledge thought process as a great form of intelligence. It's a wonderful instrument for handling your survival in the material world. But if you want to pursue something, there are other dimensions of intelligence within you. To put it very, very simply, today afternoon, whatever you had for lunch, let us say you had a chapati turns into a wonderful woman like you, because you ate the chapati. If Suhail ate this chapati, it will turn into a man. If a dog eats the… But I am a man. That is why I'm saying. You're not getting it. What I'm saying is, if a dog eats the chapati, it turns into a dog. So very intelligent chapati, you think? No, this is programmed. In your system, there is a certain volume of memory and intelligence which is capable of turning a simple chapati into a human being. When I say a human being, I am talking about the most complex mechanism in the universe that we know of. There may be others, but this is the most complex mechanism in the universe that we know of. What have you manufactured such a complex machine with? With chapatis, bananas, dal and this and that? Just about anything you eat gets transformed. So there is an intelligence within you which is the very source of creation. Instead of finding access to this, you are too lost in your own thought process. Once you get lost in your thought process, your identities become super strong. When they become super strong, you have a sense of confidence, but all your clarity will go away. Unfortunately, the very foundations of the so-called religions of the world is about building confidence. Don't worry, God is with you. You know, there's some bank advertisements, you know, I'm with you. You know how a banker is with you. So, this is a confidence-building process, but confidence without clarity is a disastrous process. What you need is clarity. Confidence means you can't see, but you're confident. This is a dangerous way to go. This is a continuous disaster. See, it doesn't take thousands of years to figure out simple aspects of life. I'm saying, now Suhail is going at these things, anger, hatred, all kinds of prejudice against each other with great vehemence about it. What I'm saying is, these are simple things in a human being. After a million years of living here, if you can't figure it out, which way to be out of it, obviously your intellect is not doing well enough, isn't it? You need other dimensions of intelligence. People ask me, Sadhguru, all other gurus are doing so many miracles, you don't do anything. I say, you want me to pull a pigeon out of my pocket? If I do that, you will have a bird and I'll have a shitty pocket.
But no, let's stay with this. But you do acknowledge that there are many such people who are actually defrauding the emotions of a large population by doing this kind of nonsense.
See, corruption is not the prerogative of only spiritual people. There are corrupt politicians, there are corrupt lawyers, there are corrupt policemen, there are corrupt doctors, there are corrupt every kind of profession, okay? It has entered every sphere of life. It is just that when a person who claims to be a spiritual guide or a guru turns corrupt, it stands out glaring because today if you go to a police station, you're expecting him to be corrupt, unfortunately. If he's not corrupt, you're surprised. That's when you talk about it. Oh my God, I went to the police station, the guy didn't ask for a buck, he did the job for me, you know. But when you go to your doctor, if he's corrupt, you're a little hurt because you placed your physical self in his hands. But when you go to your guru, you placed your entire life in his hands, if he is corrupt, you're very profoundly hurt, all right? So, the integrity that is necessary to perform different levels of activity is definitely more demanding when more trust is invested in that. But unfortunately, spiritual enterprise has started, okay? It's an enterprise. If you read 2 pages of Gita, you can become a guru in the country. You don't have to read the entire thing. 2 pages and go on repeating the same 2 pages in a language that other people don't understand, you will become a guru. So, about being successful with that spiritual process, this is all you have to do. Tonight when you go home, sit on your bed, look at yourself, what is you, what you gathered, okay? You have a home, you gathered it. You have people, you gathered them. You have clothes, you gathered this. You have a body, you gathered this. The content of your mind, you gathered it. See, before going to bed, close your eyes and see if you can keep all that aside, even intellectually. Just try to keep it aside and go to bed every day. You will see one day you will wake up in a way you have not believed possible, truly awake.
There are two fundamental aspects or forces acting within every human being. One is the force of self-preservation. The instinct of self-preservation is constantly striving to build walls of protection around yourself. And the longing to become boundless is constantly striving to push you beyond the boundaries in which you exist. It is these two which are finding variety of expression, either in the form of accumulation or in the form of every kind of desire that one can throw up, is essentially the play of these two forces. Once you make the mistake of identifying yourself with something limited, the instinct of self-preservation wins, hands down. To a point, it almost makes it looks like the other force doesn't even exist. So the essence of working towards success in one's sadhana is, all sadhana is essentially aimed towards expanding the limitations, breaking the boundaries of one's energy. When your energies are longing to become boundless, in your thought and emotion, if you're identified with limited things around you, then you will create an unnecessary tussle between the two forces. The secret of success is that these two should become one. Unless these two things become one, you do not have enough energy to break the limitations of the present dimension, to break the boundaries of present dimension, because now whatever you have is split. It is trying to tug you in two different directions. It will become a journey of one step forward, one step backward, one step forward, one step backward. If you're doing one step forward, one step backward, it's very clear you are not intending to go anywhere. Maybe it's good exercise, but you're not intending to go anywhere. Once you're identified with the limitations of your own body, what you refer to as extended body, extensions of your body are family, house, it's not… you should not have them. Having a body and being identified with is different. Similarly, having a family and being identified with it is very different. Once you're identified with it, naturally your whole system works towards building a wall around this identity, not allowing one to expand or to break the barriers of who he is right now. Shankara laments, kate kanta dhanagata chinta, which means once you're identified with your family relationships, you can only naturally think of money and property and this and that. You cannot think of anything else. Don't give yourself the thing, oh yes, I have become like this only because of my family. No, you have not become like this because of your family. Because you're like this, your family has become like that. Don't get it the other way around. It is the way you identify yourself with it, that certain things are happening. Nothing outside of us is a barrier. It is the way we hold it, the way we carry the outside within ourselves is the barrier. If your energies are split, One trying to build walls, another trying to break walls. It is a tussle. It is a wasteful way of living. If you dedicate everything to building walls, at least you may build a great wall of India. I'm sorry, the Chinese have the greatest wall, I think. Or if you put all your energies towards breaking boundaries, that will definitely happen. There are old barriers, walls which were built elsewhere, which may take a little bit of time to break. But the important thing is that you're not building new walls. Old walls can be made to crumble.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You're able to come to many colleges and give many more speeches, and I think it's just a single life, right? And you're able to achieve more than what one can imagine. A big foundation, Isha, Yoga, Mind, and many more centers, many more disciples. It's all in a single life, right? If a common man wants to take this by simple efforts and hard work, I think it will take at least up to 3 generations. And you have done it within a single life. So what's the secret behind your success?
As a child, did you blow soap bubbles? Soap bubbles. So when you blew soap bubbles, have you seen somebody got this big bubble, you got only this big bubble?
We must hold our breath and leave it slow, then we'd get a big bubble. Everything has…
Everybody had air in the lungs, but somebody got a big bubble, somebody got a small bubble. What is this about? See, when it comes to body, this is my body, that is your body, 100% clear, no confusion about this, isn't it? This is my body, that is your body. This is my mind, that is your mind. But when it comes to life, there is no such thing as my life and your life. This is a living cosmos. How much life will you capture within your system will determine the size and scope of your life. Somebody got a big bubble, somebody else got a small bubble. Poop, it went off. You cannot identify where is my air and where is your air, isn't it? So similarly, when it comes to life, there is no such thing as my life and your life, but distinctly my body and your body, my mind and your mind, but no my life and your life. There is life, abundant life. This is a living cosmos. How much life will you capture within yourself will determine the scope and range of your life. What one person can do in 100 years, somebody may do it in 10 years. Because of the sheer intensity of life. When I say intensity of life, it may translate in many different ways. See, there are times, for example, certain businesses have grown. Let us say, some business like, in United States this become a fad, within 3 years somebody is billions of dollars of worth of business. Let us say Microsoft has grown or Facebook has grown or something like this has grown. This is largely because of technological breakthroughs and somebody rides that technology. At another time, that would not have happened. So that is different. But if you want to create something really large, really significant, large or small is not the point, significance, then you need intensity of life. One thing is the scale of life that you capture. This is what I said earlier when I said yoga, obliterating in boundaries of your individuality means, in a way, you are allowing universe to invade you. When universe is not against you, but it invades you or it's a part of you, then you have abundance of life. When you have abundance of life, you will not hesitate to share. When you share big time your life with everybody else, people will naturally value it immensely because everybody is trying to hoard it, somebody is willing to share it, so naturally there will be a big upsurge around you. This will lead to many things. This will make many friends and many enemies. A lot of people whom you have never met, they are your sworn enemies, but you don't know why. You never met them, you never had a word with them, but they are swearing that I am his enemy. I don't know why, but it goes on in the world. So when we talk about how so much can be done in a short span of time, it's not a short span of time, it's 37 years. Incessant work, 7 days of the week, 20 hours a day, almost for 25 years, more than 25 years. On an average, I slept only for 2.5 hours a day. Not deprived of sleep, just kept my life energy so intense that sleep was not even an issue. There are times when I've gone without sleep for 3 days, 4 days, full-scale working, not because you're on some kind of a drug and not sleeping, simply because of the intensity of purpose and commitment to what you're doing. Today I can proudly say, I have created thousands of people around me, all of them have gotten crazy like that. They're all beginning to work like this. Most of them, you don't know when they will sleep, when they will wake up, on, 7 days of the week. No holidays, no vacations, but everybody is joyful. If you come to the yoga center and see, you will see the most joyful faces. But they've never been on a vacation. They don't own a damn thing. They don't have money in their pockets, but they're just joyful because drunk with life, literally. Well, it's like this. Have you noticed on a certain day, if you're very, very joyful and blissed out, you are willing to do whatever is needed, no problem, isn't it? Any amount of work. But little frustration, your feet will drag. So I have not known frustration at all in the last 37 years. Not that everything goes right, many things don't happen the way I want. In fact, nothing happens the way I want, that's a fact. Because what I want is up there. It is always an incremental success of everything. But because of the sheer intensity of purpose and focus, when some moments we started and people gathered in millions, somebody told me, a very prominent person in the country, Sadhguru, this kind of crowds happened only when Mahatma Gandhi came. I said, no, see, don't compare, because Mahatma Gandhi had a huge advantage. He had an enemy. There was somebody to fight. When you have an enemy, you can gather masses. Now, my whole thing is, I'm constantly reminding people, there is only one enemy in your life, that's you. If you fix this one person, everything is fine with you. Yes or no? You have only one enemy, that's yourself. If you fix this one person, this is a wonderful life. So, when there is no external enemy, moving people towards a purpose is very difficult. But people have moved wonderfully, not just in India, around the world. People are putting a lot of pressure in various countries. Sadhguru, you've done enough in India, you must come and stay here, stay there, do this, do that. Why I'm telling you this is, you are young people. Each one of you, if you become a dynamo of energy and activity, this country, which is a nation of young people, will prosper and become a miracle like no other, because we have the largest number of young people. If you get the necessary intensity and balance within you, this is important. Intensity without balance will make you go crazy. If you have intensity and balance, we can make a miracle out of this nation. All the problems that we are seeing in this country can be a thing of the past in a matter of 10 years' time, not too long. If you look at nations, if you look at the history of this world, the only country which has moved a large segment of population from poverty to affluence in one generation is the China. But they did it with lot of force and pain, too much pain. Millions have died, so much pain, so much force. But today, India as a nation, we are sitting on a threshold that through a democratic process, if all of us do the right things in the next 5–10 years' time, through a democratic process, without a gun, without bloodshed, we can move 1 billion people from one level of living to another. This kind of thing has never happened in the history of humanity. Right now, India is sitting on that cusp that if we do the right things in the next 5–10 years' time, you will see this nation transforming. Without guns, without blood, without those kind of revolutions, simply through democratic process we can do. We are sitting on the threshold. It is just that we should not sit on the threshold for too long. We must take the next step and the next step, and that is in our hands as a generation of people. We need to do that.
Well, a woman is not a separate species, first of all. This too much of man-woman thing is being done, unfortunately. It's a small biological difference to serve a certain purpose. We're all here today because of this difference, yes? So, we don't have to treat women like separate species. There was a time when the world was such that a woman couldn't really go out and do much because of the nature of the world around. Suppose right now, I don't know, maybe 2–3,000 people turned up from many parts of the world for yesterday's event in Kashi. I think in this more than 60% are women. Now, suppose this was 1,000 years ago, it would be 95% men, only 5% women maybe. Because to travel by walk or by on a horseback and to come to Kashi from 1,000 miles away would be a challenging thing for a woman, would not be very safe for a woman those days. But today, you must understand it's not your liberal attitude which has brought women reasonably level, just technology. Technology has leveled the difference because your big muscle is no more useful. You need some brain. When man's muscle did everything on this planet, naturally man was dominant. This dominance also is misunderstood. He dominated in one arena which was filmed and reported. She dominated in a different arena which was private and not reported. If you make economics the only value of your life, money is the only prime value in your life, then world will become very male, because there'll be no room for the feminine to find expression. There may be women, but they will surrender their feminine to be successful, unfortunately. This should not happen. Women should succeed as women, not as men. With full-blown feminine nature, they must be able to be successful in a society. They don't have to pretend to be a man to be successful. This has to go. If this has to go, the world has to move completely from brawn to brain. It's very important, this transition. Now, when you talk about economy or money power, it's brawn. It's a different kind of muscle. So we are
taking away the physical muscle and bringing in the money muscle, so once again you're creating a male-dominated society, masculine-dominated society, because now women have understood how to be successful by being masculine. No, this is not a good thing for the world. There must be a world where women can be 100% feminine and still be absolutely successful. If this has to happen, money should not be the ruling factor, it should be just currency. Money is just currency to facilitate things. But right now, money is the ruling factor, so masculine becomes the dominant force. We need to change this. Unless music, aesthetics, love, beauty and other things, everything becomes equal proportions, feminine will not flourish. And if feminine is wiped out of this planet, then all the men will sit and wonder, why are we living?
We must understand, first of all, grading everything by economic standards is a serious mistake. If you grade everything by economic standards, how much can you earn, how much can you provide? If this is the only standard of well-being, then believe me, you may have women in the world, but you will kill the feminine totally. It's very important. Today it is becoming like this, if you want to be successful in the world, a woman should act like a man. This is complete surrender. This is slavery of the worst kind. It's very important we have feminine in equal proportions as masculinity to make this world beautiful and our lives beautiful. If you kill the feminine in the name of success, because our idea of success has become so rudimentary, we think how much money have you got, that's your success. If you do this, you will kill the feminine totally, because this is a gross world and you will bring marketplace into your mind and into your home will become a market. This is happening in the Western societies. When they're getting married, they're making a contract. When we divorce, who gets what? I'm saying, how much ugliness do you want in your life? How can two people be woven into one if we are calculating? When we're getting married itself, we're calculating. When we part, you will get the car, I will get the house. How do you live like this? What an ugly life to live. So don't take the marketplace home. This is what will happen if you make your standard of life purely economic.